Good morning, my fellow Canadians. First off, disclaimer. I'm going to be using a lot of hard language. I apologize in advance if obscenity offends you. Please don't watch this. It is a question of frustration and impact, quite honestly. I'm looking at what's going on, of course, in Canada. I'm seeing grassroots movements starting to protest, but it's fractured. The, let's say, patriotic movements that are pushing towards common sense again. COVID-19, I'm not going to get into that, except on a personal note. There is so much conflicting information out there regarding this whole virus thing. Overreaction, underreaction. I personally do not wear a mask. I didn't wear it on the TTC. I will wear it because I have to go into the store and they won't let me in without one, which I object to, but I will wear it because it's in and out, okay? Anybody says, well, you're not wearing a mask. I said, why, doesn't yours work? Why do I have to wear a mask if you're wearing one? I'm not sick. I can't infect you. If you're sick and you're wearing a mask and the mask is supposed to work, you can't infect me. So take your mask and shove it up your ass. Is it, as some people are speculating, the foot in the door for a New World Order mandatory vaccination? Not going to happen. And people are going to start getting killed. You start telling me that I have to be vaccinated with something that I do not know and trust, and with all the information I'm seeing against it, there is going to be violence. Is it an excuse to inject a microchip in me for tracking? I don't know. In the old days, I dismissed all this as just a bunch of wacky conspiracy theorist shit right up there with the Flat Earth Society. Now I'm sitting there saying, well, maybe, with what's going on in the world today, I can't say no. But what really has got me so torqued and has got me so upset, once again, another liberal scandal. Right? Ethical violation. The Liberal Party of Canada, the most venal, corrupt, deceptive, hypocritical, unethical, anti-Canadian, fiscally idiotic bunch of useless, self-centered garbage in the history of this wonderful country. And their absolute contempt and disdain for the Canadian people, and we fucking deserve it. Why? Because we vote them and voted them back into power after what they did the first time around. There is a perfect example of deserved contempt. If you're stupid enough to vote me in after I have screwed you, then you deserve to be screwed some more. It's like hiring a child molester to watch your children, to be your nanny. A proven history of bad behavior, and you put them back into power. So every asshole in Toronto who voted for them, every moron out west, every moron down east, every Quebecer who thinks that the Liberal Party should govern this country, you're a treasonous bunch of ill-informed, moronic trash. Because you're not doing anything for this country. And the sense of pride, the sense of nationhood we used to have, that's been wiped out by the Liberal Party. I mean, we don't have a culture, right? According to the Liberals. Is it a New World Order agenda? Is it this post-nationalist state garbage? I don't know. I do know in the history, in my own personal history, when I traveled overseas, the respect and the pride that being a Canadian garnered from the people around you. They respected us more than we respect ourselves. They valued us and treasured us and our history more than we do. Well, I say we as a nation. The Liberals have fractured us along ethnic lines, fractured us along racial lines, fractured us along geographical lines. And people still vote for them. You still get these brainwashed, brain-dead morons going, oh, he's better than Harper. What did Harper do that was so bad? And they're still trying to blame Harper for their screw-ups. I'm sitting here and I'm saying to myself, People, for the love of Christ, what will it take before you will wise up and say enough? What will it take for Canadians to finally get outraged enough to say enough? What do they have to propose? Euthanizing anybody over 80 is a useless mouth to feed? Would that galvanize you into action and saying, no, this is unacceptable? Selling your children into slavery to defray government expenses. Do they have to do something like that before you're going to sit there and say, no, this is unacceptable? What do they have to do before the people of Canada will say, enough of this? Enough lies, enough corruption. I really don't know what it will take to galvanize the Canadian people, to get the people to finally rise up and say, enough. We have had enough. We need a government that values Canada and Canadians. China gave us the coronavirus. Look at the history of the viruses that have come out of China. SARS, H1N1, swine flu, bird flu, and now COVID-19. And what is Canada doing? The Liberal government is giving them the contract to do the Canadian security systems. Are you serious? The 5G network, which has got so many questions surrounding it, not only its efficacy, but its long-term health effects. Other countries are saying no, and we're taking the 5G towers down. And the Liberal government, oh, maybe we should check out the 5G system. What will it take, for God's sake? Honest to God, I really don't know what it will take to galvanize, to outrage the Canadian people sufficiently that they will kick out that useless bunch of treasonous cocksuckers out of that goddamn country. Oh, my Lord. The whitewash, the complacency, the compliance of the media, compliance of the educational system, turning out brain-dead idiots, brainwashed, indoctrinated, loony left morons. And the papers, totally, the mainstream media, totally complicit in this and going right along with it. Well, they're just a bunch of paid whores. And like good whores, they do what they're paid to do. There's no ethics. There's no morality. There's that $600 million bribe. And that's what they want. And so, isn't that the mark of a totalitarian regime? That they will buy the media and control the mainstream media? I mean, they're trying to control the internet content because there's too much independent media out there for their taste. And there's too much information that gets out that they don't want to get out. But this is acceptable? To censor an open platform that allows for open dialogue? And now, oh, it gets really interesting. This would be more Toronto-centric. Toronto City Council is actually debating the merit of changing the name of Danforth, or Dundas, pardon me. They're considering changing the name of Dundas Street. Big deal, right? Look on a map and see how long Dundas Street is, and then think of the financial ramifications of this. My buddy pointed out, every address will have to be changed. So Canada Post is going to have to change every address if they give it a new name to a new street. Look how long Dundas Street is. The financial, I mean, anybody wants to do any research on this, what would be involved on a nuts and bolts level? And what are the morons on Toronto City Council considering? Changing the name. Why? Because BLM is offended. Well, is that all it takes? Shall we gather a group of quote-unquote right-wing patriots and say we're offended? We want this done because we find it offensive? We want this changed because we find it offensive? The majority opinion, what is best for the people, what is best for the majority, this doesn't matter. All you have to have is mob rule or a sufficient number of loudmouths with their own agenda to do this kind of harm and affect this kind of thing. What will it take? Oh, my Canada, what will it take before people will rise up and say enough? People of Toronto, rise up and say enough. Tell those idiots on Metro Toronto Shitty Council, this is stupid, moronic, and a waste of taxpayers' money. Not one of them. The only in Ontario, the only one who seems to have anything resembling fiscal sense is Premier Ford. And I think we'd be in much better shape if it hadn't been for this COVID-19. Why is China's feet? Send China a bill. Send China a bill. Reparations for bringing the disease here, for not warning the world early enough. Get out of the WHO. They're not doing Canada any good. Get rid of Tam. She's not doing us any good. Her loyalty is very questionable. The Liberals are all these, oh no, she's truly working for the people of Canada. Bullshit. From everything I've seen and heard, she's a tool of the WHO. Well, and she's a typical Liberal, basically has no understanding of Canada, no concept of Canadianism, no concept of patriotism. Oh, patriotism, there's a word we don't use anymore. It's so blasé, isn't it? Patriotism. So forgive the rant, ladies and gentlemen. It's time. It's long past time. Anybody who wishes to save this country, take a good long look at what we were, what we did, and the pride, we deserved pride we used to have in this country. And if you wish to see this come back, get rid of the Liberals, get rid of the NDP, get rid of the Green Party. I would love to see Canadians rise up as a whole and do to the Liberal Party of Canada what Ontarians did to the Liberal Party of Ontario, which is no longer has official party status, by the way, because there weren't enough people. The people of Ontario said enough. Enough of your corruption, enough of your lies, enough of your fiscal mismanagement. I would like to see the rest of Canada rise up and tell the Liberal Party of Canada the same thing. Enough. We have had enough. Forgive me. Forgive the language. Forgive the rant. But I am watching my country die. It's not an exaggeration. It's not hyperbole. Canada, as Canada, is dying. And what I see rising to take the place is not a good thing. Not for the country, not for the people. So if you love this country, please, for the love of God, people, get active. And start telling your MPs and your MPPs when their behavior crosses the line, hold them to task for it. We have to save this country. Otherwise, what we are going to have is going to be an international joke. Forgive me. Forgive the language. Forgive the rant. But let's save Canada. Thank you.